Mainstream media is basically owned by 6 corporations that now has all liberal CEOs. So it's very difficult to get objective news unless you dig into the experts directly. And follow my Davos blog at sandrarupp.wordpress.com, and also check me out at Exec Career Coach on Twitter, and subscribe right here on YouTube. We now have viewers in 168 countries. Vaccine passports will never get passed because women are speaking up and speaking out. There are a lot of female whistleblowers right now. I have a really exciting announcement, which is that there is a new addition to my family, and her name is Daisy Faye Buchanan, from The Great Gatsby, of course. I think the women are doing a great job who are questioning everything that these CEOs are doing, because when you get a group of men together, bad things can happen to the ladies. And as we look at this COVID situation, we have to really question how it went from 15 days to stop the spread to, over a year later, and we're still dealing with masks. Because there is a plan by Davos, UN, and Bilderberg to create a one-world government. Former CEO of Unilever, now on the Rockefeller board, also the co-chair of the ICC, created UN development goals. He said to me, "Oh, Davos is just a place for men to do deals." The real shocking thing that Paul Pullman said to me was when he told me that his views are closer to communism than socialism. If this vaccine was invented in 3 hours and the information was downloaded from China to create it, would you take it? We know that Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates have now lost a lot of their clout. And we also know that a lot of this was politically driven. And we have to start questioning these vaccines, because we know that the companies marketing them are run by CEOs who are not born in America, and many of them are billionaires. So it also makes you question, is there anti-Americanism going on? Why did they target America and the UK? And there are videos of Professor Klaus Schwab, who's the founder of World Economic Forum. He's now in his 80s. There's a video of him on French television saying that the future of all of this is to implant a microchip in us. And for any of the mainstream media that tries to call that a conspiracy theory, all you have to do is go to French television and understand French and watch Klaus Schwab say it. It's not up to your CEO to tell you what to do on the vaccine or your health. Not officially vaccines, because they're still in clinical trials. So when I see that Dr. Rainer Fuellmich, the attorney who's overseeing, like 1,000 attorneys and doctors questioning this against the WHO, the World Health Organization, the Davos Group, they know that the PCR tests were not accurate. They set them too high at 40. When Biden got in, they started to set it at 30. So everything's been changed now, and now the CDC is saying that they're not going to continue with the PCR test, probably because of Reiner's lawsuit. So if you really want to know what's going on, I have to tell you, it takes a lot of digging, because you're not going to hear about this on CNN, or because they didn't like Brexit and they didn't like Trump, and they picked on the UK and the US to really push the vaccine globally first. There's a woman who used to work for the WHO, who's actually a doctor and a scientist, who has sounded the horn that some of the people at WHO may have been corrupted, if you will. Even the gentleman from Turkey and Germany who created this vaccine in 3 hours said that he did not believe that it should be mandated. Somehow the pharmaceutical companies were able to make it so that they are not legally liable for deaths, which right there in the Business Insider and the Wall Street Journal podcast for anyone who wants to look it up. The company mandates put companies in a very difficult spot, because you can be held liable by making someone get the vaccine, and then if something happens to them, let's say they get the Bell's palsy, which some people have gotten, they have a central nervous system problem, they have a heart inflammation, they have ongoing blood clots, or they're dead. This is your problem with lawsuits, and that could potentially mean putting companies out of business. The company in New York, as an example, can say that they want people to take a vaccine, but that doesn't mean that they can make you take it. A religious reason or a disability reason or a sensitivity medical issue, these are all ways that you can get out of it from your employer. It seems to be like the craze of, the young tech crowd to want to be connected and all this and contact tracing. But the problem with all of it is once they know everywhere you go, what you say and do, they can then censor you on social media. We're already seeing brilliant PhDs being censored on LinkedIn, which I just find mind-boggling. I've had to speak up and get them back on LinkedIn. I pull a lot of strings. So I wouldn't take advice from big tech CEOs, okay, many of whom are not even American, by the way, not born in America. But I also would be very concerned because of their youth. Some of them are very young. They haven't been around the block like I have over the course of many years and seen what dangerous leaders do. I wouldn't take advice from Hollywood. I've worked in the television business, but certainly wouldn't take advice from celebrities about what to put into my body. In addition, I wouldn't take advice from bankers. I think the big bankers have a motive here, which is that they want to sell us the vaccine passports so they can get us into digital currency. If that happens, they're looking at the Chinese Communist Party model, where it would be a device that would control what you say and do. If they don't like what you say on social media, they could turn off your banking. That's what they do in China. And therefore, everyone should be against the vaccine passports. And I don't think that you should trust the Chinese government in terms of how to create this vaccine. If you're wondering how the flu went away, it's because a lot of people who had the flu were marked COVID. And if you're wondering if all those people really died of COVID, no, they didn't. Lots of people, I think it was something like 80% of the people that died in Italy had other comorbidities, sometimes as many as 3 other comorbidities. And just stick to running your companies in a positive way. Have some integrity and call a female executive coach. They're buying up a lot of the real estate. They've got these sustainable development goals. But the problem with this whole Paris Accord is it's a socialist agreement. And I would just remind everyone, the first people to care about the environment were indeed conservatives. Being sensitive is a wonderful leadership quality. She's the light of my life. And as one of my family members said, she's the perfect dog for you, Sandra, because she's sensitive like you. And it's so true. She's just a gorgeous little Pomeranian, and I love her so much, so I wanted to share that moment with you. You can reach me at parthenonadvisors.com or on LinkedIn. I'm Sandra Rupp. Thanks so much for watching.